Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Just Dudes podcast. I am Bryce Crawford.
And I'm Hayes Harrison.
And today we have a very special guest with us for episode 2. Absolute crazy special guest. I talked to Hayes. I was like, Hayes, should we message this guy? We messaged him. Hit me back in 20 minutes. You guys might know him from Vine, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, or maybe he's most known for the Vlog Squad. But he's got a rap career as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Big Nik with us today, and we are very excited to let him join. So he is coming in right now. Very exciting.
Yo, can you hear me?
What's
We
up,
can hear
man?
you, Nick. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good, pretty good.
Good, man. Good.
We are we're very excited. We were honestly shocked that you hit us back so quick. So it's incredible that you got back to us, and we're very excited that you're on with us today.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So we're very interested in you because we've noticed that over the past few months you've kind of had a complete change because not only us but just kids and this generation know you from Vine and Instagram and being in the vlogs with David and stuff like that. And so you've just had a complete faith change is what we've seen. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, that's pretty correct.
yeah, we are mind blown. So we just wanted to know what was it like growing up, man? Like just in general, what was life growing up? Because
Sure, yeah. I guess growing up, I had to deal with a lot of, well, I guess it was like, a lot of medical issues, like right off the bat when I was born. Like I was born without a bone in my neck, so I had to be in this like halo, like when dogs are wearing that like cone kind of. It was kind of like that, but they had to like drill this halo, like, and it still has left like permanent holes in my head to this day. But I had to wear that right away when I was a little kid.
Goodness.
For at least a few years, so that was like a big challenge right off the bat. And then I just, when I was 9, I went blind on my left eye. And then like when I was 14, I had to get this like, and along the way too, I got a lot of eye surgeries. Like I had a lot of surgery done, and I look back at it now and it was just like God was really with me throughout all that stuff, like, because God's always there. That's the beautiful part of it, right? So
right, for sure.
And yeah, when I was 14, that's when I started Vine, and I got this like hip and leg osteotomy where they had to like cut my bones in half, like during near my hip area and my ankle, and like put metal in it so it could regrow over the metal. And so during that time, I was like bedridden for a year, and so I started Vine around then, and then I just started posting some videos. They started going viral, and I just kept the momentum from there, started picking up, and then like all of a sudden I just kind of exploded on there, and I wasn't really expecting it, but it was kind of cool because I was getting all this attention, and like I was finally able to have an outlet for my comedy. Like when I was in school, I would get in a lot of trouble because I was like the class clown, and they would always want to have meetings with my parents and how I'm misbehaving and stuff. But really, I wanted to be a funny guy. I just finally found the platform to do it on. And so Vine was like my outlet, and I really started to succeed after that. And it really made things a lot easier in terms of like where I wanted to go with my future, my career. And I was like traveling, doing meetups, and that was a lot of fun. And ever since then, I've kind of been doing YouTube, Instagram, TikTok as well. And then when I was 18, I got this big, oh, sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
18, I got this big neck surgery as well. And that was a crazy one because that survival rate was really, really low. And I just thank God, like I said, because like, I'm just so glad I survived out of there. So I had this opportunity to really transform into the person God wants me to be,
That's awesome.
For sure.
That's good stuff. So, I did a little bit of research, and so it says that you changed schools in high school. That you switched schools, and then you switched to an online school. So, what was that like?
Yeah. So that was cool because I did online school because my schedule didn't really parallel with the school schedule, right? Because I was busy traveling, going to LA, filming videos. That was a lot of fun, actually. Like, online school is a lot less time consuming, and it kind of made me realize, like, public school is kind of a waste, because I learned everything I needed to do in like 2 to 3 hours, and then the rest of the day I was free to film videos or, you know, work on my business or, you know, whatever I could do with that time. So that was a lot of fun, actually. I actually like that better than public school.
Yeah, that's good stuff, and I can kind of relate to you on that, because in you know, I went to a private school in 7th grade the whole day, and then come 8th grade I went all virtual. So like it was for a different reason, but you know, it's kind of the same stuff, and I'm doing hybrid now. So
Yeah. Oh, hybrid is what, online and in person, or?
yeah.
Oh, cool. It's
Yeah,
that's because of COVID, though, right?
Yeah.
It's a little weird though now, because some places are different than others, you know, especially so with like the different states. It's just weird. It's different for some places. But okay, Nik, so you get out of high school, and Vine started dying off when you were getting out of high school, I guess. I don't know, it kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
So where was this transition of, because I mean, I don't know, in your shoes, you might have been more prepared than we think, or more prepared than people see. So going out of when Vine starts going away, were you in a situation where you felt like you were confident in your other social medias, and who were you meeting, and what was that like?
Yeah,
that transition?
so that's a good question, actually. Yeah, I kind of foresaw the death of it, and I was kind of like trying to put people on a year ago, like, yo, the popular page numbers are way lower than they used to be. Like, people are leaving. You know, it didn't like just die all right away. You know what I mean? It was like a gradual process. So I could kind of see that already happening. And there was like a website called Alexograph online, and you could check basically the traffic of certain websites, and I could see that Vine.co is just dropping down in the charts. And this was a year before it actually shut down. And I was trying to let people know, and I was already trying to plug my other socials because I knew that the time was coming. But I still like didn't have everything built up. Like, I had almost 100K on YouTube at the time, like 80K, 90K on Instagram. So for a bit I was like, dang, like, you know, what does this mean for me? Right. But I just went into complete grind mode and built all that stuff back up. And then I also met David at the time too. And we all kind of blew up together from nothing, because I actually filmed Vines with David when he had, like, I would say, like little over a third of my following. He actually reached out to me because he was a fan of my Vines. So that relationship just happened organically, and we all started filming and all started blowing up. And that was like, it was kind of smooth sailing from there. I look back at it now, and like everything just happened so not coincidentally, but like, and I wouldn't say easily either, but almost like perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that was an interesting journey, and I'll never forget that. That was a lot of fun.
For sure. That's so sick. So we're very interested in your faith growth story from all this, but we want to get your background, because obviously your faith didn't come out of nowhere. You know, your story makes you who you are. So, you know, being out in Los Angeles and being out and kind of on your own, you have so much influence in general on who you are, what you believe in general. So where did your faith just began to start? And if it was a little in between, or not as grand as it is now, that type of thing. And what exactly happened, you know?
Sure. So I'll tell you kind of like where this whole like stuff started with me. Like, growing up, I actually grew up under Hinduism, and my parents would take me to the temple every Sunday. And like, I didn't really like going because I didn't understand it. Like, and I didn't understand, like, with Hinduism, it's very confusing because like there's a bunch of different quote unquote gods, and you don't really know like who's God, you know? So I was just like, man, this is kind of whack. Like, I for a long time I was just like, didn't even like believe in God, because I was just like, I had a lot of pain in my life too, and so that's like another trick that the devil does is he kind of convinces you that there is no God, because the
100%.
devil like attaches onto your brain through trauma, right? And then he's able to
yeah.
kind of work his way into there. And
Mhm.
so I had a lot of trauma with like all the stuff I grew up with. So for a while I was just atheist, and then I would say like this faith started like beginning of quarantine, like during lockdown.
Mm.
I spent a lot of time doing research. Like I wanted to learn about all these like because I was like, this COVID stuff, this lockdown stuff, this is not normal. So I kind of like went down this big rabbit hole. It started with Epstein's Island actually, and then it kind of and then I was just like realizing all these politicians, all these celebrities are all doing this like satanic stuff, and I'm like, bro, what is this? Like this stuff is not cap, like these people are actively like doing this. It's terrible, man. Like I did a lot of dark research and I was like kind of horrified with what I found. But then I started putting the dots together and like I had seen like satanic stuff in Hollywood too, but I just didn't really know what it was because I wasn't really spiritually awakened. I just figured it was like creepy stuff. But I do remember like so this is kind of me putting the dots together. Like I started to research like about all these elites and the deep state and all this like satanic ritual stuff that's going on, Bohemian Grove, the deal. Like I don't know if you guys know about that stuff, but so I was like, bro, like this is crazy. This stuff is real. And I put the events together with this studio that I walked into one time, and this guy basically showed me a video reel of what he does with his studio after hours, and it's basically like a satanic sex party. And I remember seeing that years ago. Yeah, and I was like, it was really weird. It kind of spooked me out, but I just did it. Like I said, I wasn't spiritually awakened, right? I didn't put the dots together. So then I'm looking back on that experience with my newfound research, and I'm like, oh wow, it was right in front of me. Like people are doing this stuff, and so then I was just like, man, like I gotta start doing more research, right? Because that was the whole point of lockdown. Is like I'm not distracted anymore. There's no parties around me. There's no girls around me because I don't want to get a virus, So, like I'm like free in a way. Like I'm free to just be alone and independent and like figure out the truth in life. And so as I'm like doing more research and stuff, I'm researching all these different religions, and I'm realizing that none of them. I mean, and I don't think Christianity is a religion, but I realized that all these religions are just like, in the modern day term, are all just really cap. You know what I mean? Like Jesus is the only truth, and I started to do more research and figure out that Jesus was the truth. And so then I don't know if you saw my TikTok, but I had like a flashback of like this dream I had when I was 11, and I had a dream with Jesus, like, and I was a Hindu at the time, and I remember it so clearly because it was a dream that felt so real, and I just knew it was God. Like my mom woke me up. So here's how the dream started, right? I was like 11 years old. I think it was on Easter too, and I was going on vacation for Easter, and I think I was like staying in Scottsdale or Phoenix. I don't remember where, but we had to wake up early, right, for our flight because this is the day that we were leaving. I was living in Chicago at the time, and so I'm like, and my mom wakes me up from the dream, right, because we had to go early to the airport. But basically, the dream was like I was on this private jet with Jesus. He was wearing a white robe. He had a beard and everything. And I just knew for a fact it was God. Like, and that was kind of a weird feeling because I had never regarded him as God outside of that dream, And when my mom woke me up from it, I told my mom, like, oh, Mom, you woke me up from my dream with God. Like, and I just said that without even realizing it. So it's kind of crazy how I felt that like deep down in my conscience, even though I didn't believe that at a young age. You know what I mean? Like, because Christ is within all of us, bro. Like when you see Christ, man, you definitely, it makes you feel some type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely know it.
In God's image, so
yeah.
Yeah,
that's great, man. Well, another thing is you rap. You
Yeah, I
I
do.
I listened to your recent song called Hope, and I
Oh
enjoyed the
yeah.
lyrics. The lyrics are great. Can you kind of step us through like how the music making process has worked for you and how it started?
Yeah, so it started I started originally like when I was in LA, and I was just in my apartment, and I wanted to learn because I really like rap music, and I grew up listening to rap, and I was just like, you know what? I want to do this stuff. And in the beginning it took a lot of trial and error. Like before I would just like spit bars, but now I'm like able to do more melodies in my music. And so that was kind of a gradual learning process as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and I always remember in the beginning, I was like, I want to just sound like I want to get to the point where I sound professional and I sound
Right.
good. And I just kept hitting the studio in my apartment. I have my own studio every day until I finally made something happen. And I remember finally getting into the groove of it when I made this song called No Cap. It was like a few years back. And I had
Yeah.
just spit that, like just the melodies were coming to me in my head. It wasn't like spitting bars. I was actually doing some singing in it, you know? And I
Yeah.
realized like, oh wow, this is the type of music I need to do. I need to do more melodic, fast paced rap. And
Right.
since then it was kind of a breeze from there. So it took a lot of trial and error and a lot of concentration and learning about, you know, the different aspects of music. But that became a very fun thing for me to do in my life once I really nailed it, you know?
That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome.
for sure. So I have a date, and I know that this will mean a lot to you because I feel like I could connect here, and I know that this has a huge part in who you are. But in August of 2017, you lost your grandfather, and
Yeah, yeah,
I wanted to talk about that because first of all, I had watched that tribute video when I was like 12.
yeah.
And so I know that lots of people have seen it. And I just want to talk. I want to talk about that because I personally had a close relationship with one of my grandparents, especially my grandfather. My other granddad plays a huge role in my life and in my faith today. And I can just tell that there was a huge relationship and just a bond that is surreal. And I wanted to get into that with you.
Sure, yeah. Oh, sorry. Were you guys get another question or?
No. Yeah. So I want to know like about how your grandfather played in your life.
Oh,
And
sure. Yeah. My grandfather was like another dad to me. My parents worked a lot, and my grandparents took care of me a lot when I was in Chicago. And so, yeah, me and my grandfather had a really close relationship. He was like my older dad in a way, you know. We would always be in his office, and I would be teaching him about electronics and stuff. And
yeah,
he would always like, he would even show me, he would try to teach me about like our family history and stuff. And I just love being around him because he was just such a chill, calm, like really outgoing, funny guy. Actually, I get a lot of my humor from him. Like even when I make jokes and stuff. Now his name was Nanik, and like my parents will like tell me like, oh, like you're pulling a Nanik or something like that, you know. So a lot of his humor emulates in me, and yeah, we had a really close relationship. Like I said, he was like another father figure. So that definitely it definitely hurt a lot when he passed away. And like when I was editing that tribute video, like I had to pause in between because I just like was crying really hard like while I was editing that, you know. So that was really hard to edit and get out, but I did it, and I was really glad. And yeah, it was really interesting. Like I posted it, and I obviously didn't care about how many views it got. I just wanted to post it. But like I posted it like maybe a day or two before it started to spike. But as I was at his funeral, it started spiking on YouTube, and I was like, dude, that's like kind of a weird coincidence in a way, you
yeah,
know? How like
yeah,
so I was just like, man, you know, maybe this is God telling me something, you know? But I was just really like hurt by that when he passed away. And it took a long time to really get over, but you know, he was a great guy.
yeah, for
Love that
sure.
guy.
We could tell. Yeah, that's huge. That's how a lot of people, and Hayes knows this too. I think this is how Hayes got to know me. Me and Hayes didn't know each other for like about a year and a half ago, but I was super close with my grandfather too, and he had really bad cancer, pancreatic cancer, and was passing away. And I remember after he passed away, we didn't know if he was a believer or not. And at the time, like I was supposed to kind of speak God in him because we had that tight relationship like you and your granddad had. And
Yeah.
so when we passed away, I kept blowing off the visits and stuff to help him. So we had no idea if he was a believer. And so like this burden and this weight of just like guilt and stuff fell on my shoulders, and that can happen even when you just lose a loved one. And so, I made a video about that too on TikTok because months later, God literally spoke to me and told me everything was going to be okay. And just like, I started crying. I called my grandma. My grandma actually let me know that he was saved. And she was like teaching him about God in the hospital and stuff. And I
that's
just didn't know.
awesome.
So it was super incredible, but I can just see how your grandfather, I see a lot of, when I watched that video, I just saw a lot of me and my grandfather in there.
Yeah.
And it was just, I felt like not only for me, but I felt like it connected with hundreds of thousands of people. I feel like that's why people can relate to you in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. And it was honestly just an honor that video was seen by so many people, because he really kind of he went out with a huge audience supporting him,
That's awesome.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
is awesome.
So what are you doing now in your career? What's going on in your career now in LA?
Yeah, so I'm actually in San Diego right now. I'm gonna go back to LA in February, but I've just been kind of like streaming on Twitch a lot lately. I've still been posting on TikTok, just getting videos out. But like really, I just want to focus all my content on just helping people get saved, because like it's a big it felt like a big burden on my chest in the beginning, because I was just like, dang, like once I really figured out, the reality of, I would say, heaven and hell, I was like, man, like there are a lot of people going to hell. I have to like do something about this, and so I just started posting on there, and I really wanted to get people saved. I really wanted people to get to know the Lord. So from now on out, like all the content I make in my career, like I'm not really going to do it to further progress myself, because I've reached a big capacity of progression already. I want to use that platform to help other people progress in their faith with God, if that makes sense,
That's awesome. And I just want to say, you definitely already know this, but God has a great plan for your life, man. Like just hearing your story, it just inspires me to be better and to show others about God. And it's inspiring. But what about the Vlog Squad? Are you still close with them? Are you still cool with them, friends? What about?
Yeah, like I'm cool with David. Like we'll message each other once in a while. I'm not really like I don't really like talk to many of the people outside of that.
Right.
Just because I don't really have any like similar interests with them. And my vibe is just very different. Like I don't really I mean great content creators, I just don't really vibe with them.
Yeah.
So like me and David are good homies, and he reached out the other day even, and like I'll hit him back and just we'll talk here and there, but most of the time like I'm just really doing my own thing now. Just because like also I have to have people around me that are on the same wavelength as me, otherwise it's going to take away from my energy too. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
I was talking to
I
was talking to a bunch of my friends the other day, and like what I was saying is I think we get caught up, and I think you're realizing this now as you're growing in your faith, is like you want people around you that vibe with you and that are going to make you the best you that you can be, right? And I'm not saying that that David or your old friends or stuff didn't do that. I'm not saying that at all. But in order for you to grow in your faith and to ultimately be the best you can be and have this super close one-on-one relationship with God, I feel like that you need to surround yourself with those people that are going to better you in your faith and that are going to hold you accountable and stuff like that. And
most definitely, yeah, I agree. And I hope everyone gets saved there, man. But it's hopefully they come across one of my videos or something and get inspired. But yeah, like as of now, I'm just really on this narrow path with God, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's great.
I'm the only Christian really in my family, actually. So it's not even like really a friend thing. It's even a family thing. I'm like the only Christian in my circle other than my pastor and, a lot of people that I meet at youth group. But for the most part, yeah, I'm just like walking this journey alone, which I don't mind. I mean, I'm not really alone, God's always with me. So.
And honestly, it's really not easy to walk, and sometimes you do feel alone through that.
Yeah,
we always
yeah.
have that feeling of like we know God's with us, but like you can look and be like, dang, like nobody else is trying to do this,
Yeah, yeah. It is definitely a lonely feeling for sure, because it's like, but I also understand, because like at the end of the day, man, this world is just deceived in general. And like I was one of the people that kind of fell under that deception. So I get that people aren't just snapping right away to walk this narrow path. They kind of need some more clarification. But people just got to do the research. Like people got to go really deep in life, and that's what I did. And Jesus was the answer after all of my research for months and months.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about the hate, because as you said, it's such a narrow path, this Christian walk. And I bet you this content change for you, and just this change of who you are in general, is going to attract people to disagree with what you're doing and stuff like that. So just how do you deal with that? How do you tell someone our age that it's not necessarily their platform that they're using? Maybe it could be close friends that are hating on them for believing in God or something. How do you tell someone today that is struggling with that God is real, and that you should chase God and not let go of that relationship you have with him?
Sure. I mean, yeah, hate is always going to exist, right? I've been dealing with hate even before my content switch, since I was a kid online. Now I have a more clear perspective on it, because if you're angry, if you're bitter, if you're spiteful, those are not emotions that really come from God. Those are emotions that come from Satan, right? And so at the end of the day, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and, spiritual wickedness in high places. And people got to understand that people who are hating really just have demons controlling them, and like you just got to pray for them, man. Hope they get better. Like that's really the reality of it. You can't take it too seriously, because those people are captive still of their spiritual demons, right? And God bless them, man. I hope they get better. Like that's my perspective on it. I got a lot of hate on TikTok for sure, from many different communities that would actually claim they're oppressed when really they're the ones doing the oppression. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And yeah, man, it's a really narrow road. It's a very it gets a lot of hate, and I don't really care.
That's good. That's good. I know it's easy for
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's easy for you, and like me, you obviously probably don't know, because we reached out to you literally 2 days ago. But me and Hayes do a lot of TikTok and together and separate.
TikTok?
Yeah, we do some. Well, Hayes does. I don't even know how to describe. Me and Hayes used to do similar content.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your username?
Mine's just Hayes Harrison, just the name, just together, all together.
Hayes Harrison. Cool. I'll shoot you a follow.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and mine's just Bryce Crawford. But yeah, basically me and Hayes linked when he was at like 20K. I think I was at 100K, and we were making similar content, I guess, like typical lip sync and dances and stuff like that. And then we started making videos at the gas station. I mean, we try not to take credit for the gas station thing, but like months ago, we really started all those videos at the gas station and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
and then, we don't want to say we started it or anything, but
but yeah, and then like as I was telling you earlier with the whole thing with my grandpa, and recently, like I just have this like me and Hayes both kind of went rogue for a little bit on social media, and just kind of stepped back, and we went off grid and just were focusing on us. And I noticed it in Hayes as I was growing, and I don't think I had talked to you in months, Hayes, when I reached back out to you again. And he comes to my city every other week, and we just were like, I was growing, like, I know you know the feeling, Nick. I just was like in such awe of God's presence. Just
Yeah.
it's just how God's working through our lives. And that's why we started this podcast, because we want to be able to help teens and young adults and people that are struggling in their faith to know that they're not alone, that we went through the same things. We want to help them teach and grow and learn as well as we do. But we wanted to
Yeah,
bring
that's
on
amazing,
people.
man.
We wanted to bring on people like you, because you obviously, I mean, coming back from your Hinduism background into this Christianity and all this research with COVID and stuff is just so interesting and real. But we started making this this just Christian content, and just because we have this love and passion for Jesus like you do.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
And it's just an incredible and just such a surreal feeling.
It's great. And the crazy thing is, like, me and Bryce had no clue. Like, we met like what, like a year ago, a year and a half, something like
I
that.
think so.
And now we're here doing this. Like, it's crazy to see that, like, we didn't know each other. Like, it was not too long ago when we met, and it's just great how God can put some people in your life to show you that you're not alone and that you're not on this walk alone, you know?
Most definitely, man. That's awesome that you guys have each other.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm thankful.
So we wanted to ask also about have you been baptized? Have you done anything?
I have actually. Yeah, I got baptized in November, I believe, like beginning of November. But yeah, I got baptized over at my church here in San Diego. My pastor Jamie actually did the baptism, and yeah, that was really cool, man. That was kind of like my I would say like turning point, really, where I was just like, you know what, this is it, you know. I'm baptized now. You know, it feels cool.
Yeah, that's sick,
Yeah.
dude. That symbol of faith is just incredible. That just I mean, just baptism being that symbol of faith and the symbol of your relationship with God is just incredible.
And it's special, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like, God really, you know, a lot of people have that need to fill the void in their heart, right? And like God fills that, right?
Yeah.
Like, since I found God, I've just been like complete in every way possible. I've been complete in all my emotion. I've been complete in all my goals, my journey. You know what I mean? Like, I've been complete in the friends that I have. You know, and I've also had a different perspective on just life, right? Because it really changes your whole point of view on life. And that's when I really started to post TikToks about this, because I was like, you know what, man, I can make entertaining content and people will get a laugh for like 15-20 seconds, but I got to do more than just give people laughs. I got to like start helping people like understand the importance of their soul, you know?
That's
And
awesome.
the soul, I mean, think about it. Your soul is so precious. You got God and the devil fighting for it constantly. You know what I mean? Like,
I saw that. I don't. Where did you see that at? I saw that probably yesterday on a tweet or something.
I saw that like somewhere in like a sermon, I think, but it really stuck with me. I'm like, dude, that's so true. Like, you know, I mean, the soul is a priceless thing, man. You can't buy your way out of hell and you're done. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't work. You're done. So I did a lot of research on hell, man, too, because, you know, I go deep, right? And I was just like, bro, this is horrible. Like, you're in this spirit body and it's burning hot and you got all these like reptilian demons in there. Like, man, the lake of fire. I was like, dude, this is whack. Like, people, I gotta really do something about this. Like, I can't just sit back and not say anything, you know? So,
you gotta save other people.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that being funny and getting a laugh, because I feel like people struggling in their faith, especially with being like an influencer creator, I guess you want to call it. People think that, you know, once you become a Christian, like, oh, you can't be funny, or oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that. So let's talk about it, because obviously you're so passionate and vocal about your faith, and yet you're still the same funny Nick, the same genuine Nick that you can be. And I think people get mixed up nowadays. I feel like people think that they can't can't enjoy certain things that God's blessed us with on this earth, you know, especially personality traits and stuff like that.
Of course. Yeah. I think people, when they look at like me as a Christian, most people are supportive, but some people are just like, oh, like, I miss the funny Nick. Like, Dude, I'm still here.
Yeah, same guy.
Like I'm still here. I'm actually making I'm trying to incorporate some like Christian comedy videos and like my gospel videos as well, just to kind of lighten the mood up. But no, I haven't gone away. I'm still cracking jokes every day. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
whether it's around my family or online. But yeah, man, Funny Nik is here to stay. I'm just also spiritually woke now, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So do you know John B. Christ, the Christian comedian?
No, I don't. John B. Christ?
Yeah, he makes these like skit videos and like these comedy skit videos about like Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. I don't know,
Oh,
but he's
really?
hilarious, and he kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
Dude, I felt really betrayed by Chick-fil-A because I thought the guy was like, let's stop topic. But like, so the guy who founded it is a Christian. So I'm like, oh, wow, fast food that doesn't have, like, I'm sure another brother wouldn't put preservatives in this food. And then I did more research, and I realized like the preservatives they use in Chick-fil-A sit in your stomach for so long. And I'm like,
you can't go wrong with that Christian chicken, though. You know,
I know, but I thought the Christian chicken was gonna be healthy or something, you know? Like I didn't think he was gonna load it up with preservatives, man. Like whatever happened to like Christianity, man? Now you got us other Christians poisoning us, man. Come on.
Hey man, at least they're closed on Sunday.
Dude.
They're still closed on Sunday.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. What? Well, Hayes, do you have anything else for Nik?
You see, well, you know, I watched a video today and I thought it was really, it really got me. And it was a guy, I'm not sure his name, but he was preaching a sermon and he had a rope. And let's just say it's this long, right? And he had about this much of it was painted red.
Oh, he's talking about eternity versus now, right? Yeah.
Yep. He was talking about this much of it was your short years on earth, and the rest of it is your eternity with God forever. And that just shows the importance of like, you know, this is not anything to joke around with. You know, this is serious
right,
stuff.
exactly.
This is the rest
people
of you.
Don't understand. Like right now, you have been given your free will, but sooner or later, if you're not abiding with God's word, that's going to be taken away from you. You know what I mean? Like, and people are so used to living how they live, myself included, in the past, that I couldn't even grasp the concept that there was a supreme power that I actually have to abide in, right? Because it's a kind of it's more of a prideful, selfish thing to ignore that. And so I think a lot of people's hearts have been hardened with pride and selfishness and ignorance. But like, you know, I always think about it on Judgment Day. Like, imagine all the people who didn't believe in Jesus on Judgment Day. That's got to be terrifying. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like, and you know for sure, like, you're in a place where you can't control. Like, you're just waiting next in line, you know? And so people got to know this stuff, man. Like, that stuff's very real. And I've even talked about it with other people, and they're like, oh, like, I'm not gonna have Judgment Day. I'm just gonna drift up into the cosmos. I'm like, bruh, like, no,
that's not how that works.
Like, everyone is gonna get judged whether you believe in it or not. It even says, like, I think in the Romans chapter, all believers and unbelievers will, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. So everyone's gonna figure that out eventually. Your best bet is figuring it out while you're on earth, though. Wow. You know?
Yeah,
well said.
For sure. I tell people all the time that just like struggle in their faith, and I've heard multiple people say it. My granddad was the one that told me this, but I'm 100% along with you guys that Jesus is real. I know 100% that God is real, that I'm going to heaven. But I tell people that struggle, I'm like, fine. If I'm wrong about Jesus, then I wasted a lifetime. But if you're wrong about Jesus, you wasted an eternity.
Right. And eternity, you can't even compare lifetime to eternity, because eternity is infinite, man. It's like, it never goes away. Like,
it's really hard to grasp.
It's hard to grasp, but like the fact, it's crazy. I'm just so glad that like I figured this out, man. And I realized, like, if I had died during like one of my surgeries, man, I would have been, you know, in hell for eternity, man. And like, I look back at it now and I realize that God, you know, never forsook me, man. He was always there. Like, he always protected me because he had a plan. And I don't know what the plan is yet, but I'm going to trust in it. I'm going to trust the process and see where it goes. But I'm just really grateful that God, had these angels watching over me, man, making sure I was safe through every operation, because it would have been a real shame and a real bummer if I was in eternity in a very horrible place. You know what I mean? And I think about that a lot. Like I was very close to dying, right? Like in a lot of instances too. So it's really a blessing that I'm here today, and I'm making every day count right now. And I'm trying to make every day count, like I said, by getting other people to understand the Lord in a way. Because think about it as well. Like nowadays, what's considered quote unquote cool is like, the whole millennial viewpoint, of just like smoking, drinking, partying, having sex with a bunch of girls, whatever. But really, man, this is all the devil's lies, bro. Like this is all just fleshly desires that are going to provide you short-term pleasure, but long-term suffering. And so when you look at it in that perspective, you really have a different take on life. But it's really worth it because, man, I'm trying to see Jesus, man. Like, like I'm trying to go up there and see him, man, and hang out with him, like straight up, bro. So I'm gonna do what I can here on earth to do that,
Yeah, for sure.
That's so good.
Well, I guess that's it. Episode 2, Nik. Thank you for joining us.
Episode 2, baby.
Episode 2, Nik.
Episode 2. This is our second podcast ever. I mean, this is the second time we've hit the record button.
Oh, nice, man. Well, I'm glad I could be part of the second debut.
Yeah, we were super excited when you hit us back. We would love to talk to you after we stop recording and just kind of get to know you more as a person.
Sure, man.
Yeah, we're very glad that you got to join us today. Super exciting. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks,
of course, man.
Everyone stream Hope. He's got a new song out. It's on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, app, all that. It's on everything.
Yes, sir. All of that. Just Big Nik, Hope. It's my first ever gospel song. And I'm also in the process of making a gospel EP. So kind of changing up all my material. So yeah, man, it got some cool stuff coming.
I like it. The artwork on it is incredible, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. I actually bought a canvas of it and I have it hanging in my room. So every time I pray, I get to look at that, which is really nice.
That is so sick. Well, thank you guys for listening. And thank you, Nik, once again, for joining us on the podcast. And we will see you guys on episode 3.
Peace.